So you've read over our acceptable use procedures and our policies for students and visitors for using technology without the district. So you might be thinking, oh, I understand this pretty well. I'm up on technology. I know what all that means. I know what I can and cannot do. Or you might be thinking, wow, that wording is pretty complicated. I don't understand a lot of it. And you also have to think about we're going to be having our kids follow these policies, our students follow these policies, so we need to make sure that they will be able to understand what it means, what it looks like, what it does not look like. So sometimes when we're talking about objectives or targets we use for our curriculum, we might break them down or dissect them with students to help them understand better what it looks like and what they're supposed to be learning. So for our activity today, we're going to do that with these acceptable use policies and procedures. We're going to choose, you'll notice that they have a list of acceptable uses, and then they give you a list of prohibited activities. And they also make sure to tell you what's going to happen if you violate those, what kind of enforcement is going to happen. And you want to do this with your kids as well, and we'll get more into that later when we talk about classroom rules and making sure the acceptable use policies are followed in the classroom. What I want you to do when it's your turn to do this is you're going to pick one of the prohibited activities. So for this modeling, I'm going to choose this one here that says harassing, insulting, ridiculing, attacking, or defaming others via network communications. That sounds like a pretty self-explanatory policy, but it's got a lot of big words. Network communications, students might be confused about what this means. So I copied it, I pasted it right here in my sketchpad. You can type it in, whatever works for you. And then with my group, I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to look at the important words first. What we might do with students first is say, why don't you highlight some important words in that sentence? So I see a couple words that mean actions, that are verbs. Harassing, insulting, I'm going to highlight those. See, I've clicked on my highlighter here, my crown, and made it yellow. Ridiculing, attacking, defaming, those are a lot of big words. So I might ask students, what does that mean? What do those words mean? Or what could you be doing that would mean those words? So one of my group members might say, well, harassing, insulting. Harassing might mean, I'm going to click on my text here. I'm going to pick another color for my text because that yellow is going to be a little bit bright. I'm going to type up here, I mean being mean to someone. Being mean to someone. Because harassing, maybe insulting means something different. So when I go back to my arrow, and if I'm insulting someone, talking to kids about it, they might think, oh, maybe I'm making fun of someone. Making fun of someone might mean insulting them. If I'm making fun of them or talking about how they look. Then I will go to the word attacking, because that can sometimes mean different things as well. Ask my students, what does attacking mean? Does it mean physical attacking or verbal attacking? It might mean physical attacking. I'm going to make that shorter so it'll fit into my thing. It might mean physical attacking, or it might mean, if we're talking about computers, what do you think it could mean? So I might ask the students that, and with my group I might think about, if we're talking about computers, what does attacking mean? So it might mean saying mean things over and over again, repeatedly. I'm going to make that shorter again. Repeatedly. I don't know if I spelled that right, but we're going to keep going. So if you look at your policy here, the only other word I'm looking at, and I might be confused about, is this says here network communications. So I might ask my students, what does network communications mean? What are we looking at when we mean network communications? So for this I might get my pen and I might talk to the students about what are we going to be using that we can use a network on. We might be talking about our computers. I might draw a picture of our computers there with a little keyboard and a mouse. And you'll see part of mine's just coming up pink because it has a fill option. You can change that fill to nothing if you want it to be nothing. I'm going to talk about on your tablets. You might have some tablets, and I might change my outline to black just so. Might have tablets in the classroom that you're communicating with people over. And then a student might say, well, the word communicating, if we're talking about communicating with technology, that might mean email. Maybe email. And it's white, so we want to go to black. That might mean email. So you see, we've kind of dissected and we've kind of said, well, if we're looking at our policy here, what do all those words mean and what does it look like in the classroom? We might be making fun of someone over email, or might be making fun of someone on the computer. So I want you with your group to do this today with one of the policies. You're going to choose one, you're going to copy and paste it, or just type it in. You can go from your acceptable use policy that you download above on this website, and you can open up Sketchpad, the link is below, and you're going to do this. After this, you're going to be actually using this to draw a picture with very little text that you might show to students in the classroom of what this policy looks like in the classroom and what it looks like when it's being violated. But for right now, I just want you to kind of dissect it and talk with your group about what it means.